the main thing I have to focus on is my mindset. That's the biggest thing for me right now. Because physically I feel good, uh, but mentally I tend to get into these blocks where I'm doubting myself sometimes, or I'm feeling the pressure. Like, let's say for example, when I feel good in a competition, I'm confident, and I end up losing like first round or something, it gets to me, and I'm like, what is it? What is it?
Welcome back to Stan Elements, Jeffro. It's awesome to have you back again. It's really good to see you.
Yes, no, it's good to be back. It's good to be back.
So much has happened since the last time that you were here. And actually, first of all, bro, how are you finding these Olympic events that you're now taking part in?
Man, at first it was a little bit, it was stressful. It was real stressful. But now once we kind of get used to the ins and out, it kind of gets a little more easier to adapt to. Even though it's still a high stressful environment, I even come across people tearing up whenever they lose, whether they win. That's how much it just means to everybody that's competing on this platform. But part of it is kind of taking yourself out of that mindset of, this is the one and only chance for me to get to the Olympics, or even just break to a point where I'm just happy. So you got to try to take yourself away from that and just be like, I'm doing this. I was doing this before the Olympics came up, and I'm doing this now. Uh, so trying to stay within that mindset is key. But I'm finding it, at first I was finding it stressful, but now it's a little more manageable, and and it's easy and enjoyable to just be amongst other high level competitors competing at these competitions.
Is that because of the added weight of thinking that you now have this opportunity to be seen worldwide? Because when you're talking about like people getting really upset that they've lost, like, naturally people will be upset, but maybe not to that extent.
Yeah, I feel like there's a lot of pressure, and a lot of this pressure we put on ourselves. It's not coming from anybody. I think whenever the opportunity came up to be an Olympian, people kind of changed their career and focused, okay, I'm breaking to be an Olympian. But realistically, you got to just bring yourself back to the reason why you started doing this. And when we started, there wasn't no Olympics. So centering yourself, thinking like that is going to be key. But yeah, we put a lot of pressure. We put a lot of pressure on ourselves, uh, and it sucks. But you know that's why we need that constant reminder. Whether it's you tapping out of that mindset, or you having friends to back you up, your crewmates to back you up, and just know this ain't the end all be all. This is a part of the journey. You know.
That additional pressure that you're talking about, it must be working for you because you just came second at the Pan American Games, which now qualifies you for the Olympic qualifier series. It doesn't get you directly into the Olympics, but at least you have the opportunity to actually be there. So, what's sort of changed in your training and in your mentality if you're talking about, all of the other pressures that you're feeling?
Yeah. So actually, fun fact, I just found out. So, like whenever I have a lot of pressure, I tend to perform the best, the best ever. But when I'm relaxed and chill in the competition, I get eliminated first round. It's that's just what happens. But it's whenever I feel that pressure, I'm like, oh dang, all right, this is it, this is it. Then I really just tap into to just like this gear that just lets me. I don't know. It's almost like a fight or flight type of mentality where I'm just like, we gotta fight. uh, but as far as what changed as far as my training, nothing really changed. Um, Nothing really changed as far as my training. I think the main thing I have to focus on is my mindset. That's the biggest thing for me right now. Because physically I feel good, uh, but mentally I tend to get into these blocks where I'm doubting myself sometimes, or I'm feeling the pressure. Like, let's say for example, when I feel good in a competition, I'm confident, and I end up losing like first round or something, it gets to me, and I'm like, what is it? What is it? And I just went through a period where at the nationals, the USA Nationals, a couple of weeks ago. I lost that first round, and then I went to France for Feast. I lost top 32, and it was just like, what is happening? I used to score like in the semis and up, you know? So, and then when something like that hits me, it just gets to me. So, and it's a part of, like I said, the mental game. It's the mental aspect of it, letting yourself know things are going to happen. There's going to be slip ups. Some of it's not caused by you. Some of it could be an error from a judge. Some of it could be, there's no telling what can happen in the competition. So it's always about the mental game and making sure you're sharp up there.
And then when you're having those moments where you're wondering where on earth has it all sort of gone wrong, you're coming in second and third at all these other events, but then you're at the nationals and you lose out early, and then you're in France and you're losing out early, which sort of seems like out of character because the last time you were there you did really well. So
Mm-hmm.
what sort of what are like some of the doubts that you have when those moments are there?
It could. I don't even know. It's just my whole mindset. I'm just going back and forth. Like like for example, when I lost in the nationals, I just came out of a competition in Brazil where I scored fourth, and it's a World Series. So the nationals, it's just the U.S. And for me to get eliminated first round, I was like, what is wrong? Is it the is it the judges? Is it me? What could it be? So realistically, it's just a lot of questioning. I don't think it's anything specific. I just think there's a lot of questioning. And yeah, I don't know what to pinpoint is the problem. But sometimes I do doubt myself. So um but yeah, but sometimes that doubt is what makes me go far at the next competition.
Of course, bro, of course. And obviously, recently you did just place second at the Pan America Games, which
Mhm.
was just recently, actually. Just sort of recap the experience that you had. And because it did look like a really sick event, it really looked like there was more of a vibe in comparison to some of the others. So, how did you find it out there?
Yeah, no, the Pan American Championship was by far the best breaking for gold event that I've been to. And this is the reason why I think is usually the other breaking for gold events that I go to are more like a performative, event where there's a crowd of non-breakers. It's outdoor, and a lot of times people get out and they're like trying to get the crowd hype, and it's just like you're performing more than you're battling. So, and I think in the Americas, we just have this natural like battle mindset where we're trying to attack you. We're trying to attack. So going all the way down, going over there to Chile and seeing like Brazil, uh, we had Colombia, we had a lot of these South American countries, and everybody just comes from this background where we just attack. So the energy was just it was just hype. The experience was tight. Yeah, it was a battle. It wasn't performance, it wasn't showy, it was a battle. So I really enjoyed that, and I think that added on to the experience for every competitor. And then even the venue, it was a little bit dark. It was kind of dark. So it kind of gave that jam vibe. Like it was a like something that we had back home, one of our local events. So it was tight. I think the feeling was right, and I think that goes for a lot of the competitors. I think they could agree with me, saying that this was one of the best filling events in a while.
Wow, bro. Like, because that was one of the things that I observed as well. It just seemed a bit more chill, just a really nice vibe, just sort of like any other event, really. But usually, what you hear when people are asked about like their mindset at events, whether it's an athlete or it's a dancer or whatnot, they always just say that it almost doesn't matter what's happening around them because they're just so focused on what they're doing that even if they're having a bad day, they can always sort of do what they need to. But it really does sound like this event in particular really sort of brought it out of you.
Yeah, no, for sure. It brought me back. It brought me back to that feeling that I needed. And I came in all white. I like to come in a signature all white whenever I'm really going for something. So I'm like, this is the the all white suit time. So so it was perfect. It was perfect.
So, what do you need to do now to level up for the next series of events? I'm assuming that you don't need to take part in too many more events because if you've already qualified for the qualifier series next year, then maybe there's less opportunities for you unless you want to do them.
Yeah, no, I'm chilling for the most part. So since I qualified for the Pan American Games and the OQS, um, those are the only two events that's on my radar as far as WDSF. Um, but on this downtime, I'm really just gonna focus on getting my groin better because yeah, my groin is what's holding me back as far as my power. I feel like I had some good. I knew how to throw power back in 2017. I was throwing some good power combos, and now I'm like, ever since I tore my groin, I'm like either scared or or maybe it just might come back in little increments like the pain. So actually against Lil G, I did a power combo and I felt my groin do a little, it was a little pop. And I was like, oh, we gotta keep going though. We gotta keep going though. So I started I switched up the power combination mid round that I was gonna do just because I was like, I can't open my legs. I gotta keep them in for the baby meals. So mid battle, I literally had to change it just because I was like, oh, I can't do this. But so now it's recovery. It's a strength and conditioning on my groin, trying to get the knots out of my inner thigh that I've been having from it's just scar tissues. Uh, so breaking that up. So that's what all this downtime is going to be, and then start reintroducing the power into my round. So you might see a little bit more power coming from me later on in the year or early next year. So I'm excited about that.
I mean, that would be amazing, bro. Because the first time that we spoke, you said that you don't really do any power because you don't really need to. But now that you want to, it sounds like you weren't able to.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. So I literally completely eliminated power from my style and my dancing. But now I'm like, dang, I wanna throw some power combos. I know how more impactful my rounds would be if I threw in the power combos and don't get me wrong, I like power. I like power. I like footwork more than power, but but I do like power and just figuring out how to come up, transition into power and transition out of power with footwork is just that's really what my mindset is on right now. So let me get the power back and then we're gonna get to work.
Of course, man. And the last thing from me, and I know that you've said that you've got your rehab to think about and you have a couple of events that's on your mind. Are there any other goals that you have for the rest of the year? And I know that you're organizing events and you're involved within the fitness sort of space as well. Like, what other things are sort of going on right now?
Yeah, which is taking a lot of my time right now. We're throwing another event for the year. Earlier we threw my crew through event called Ether. That's our annual event. And now my fitness company, Fit Break, we're throwing our first jam of the year, and it's going to be a championship event uh, in the summer. So we're partnering up with the American Fitness Expo, which is a big fitness convention that happens annually over here too. And yeah, so it's going to be amazing. Just getting the fitness breaking into this fitness realm I think is just perfect for people that's looking at breaking. That's not really they don't know how to get into breaking. So it's kind of like positioning ourselves so that if you wanna get down and dance, you can get down and dance. If you wanna get down and work out, you can get down and work out through dance. Uh, so right now we're just throwing a jab just to bridge that gap between the fitness and the breaking community. So that's July 22nd, 2023. Yeah, so it's gonna be crazy. So yeah, that's taking a lot of my time right now. But I'm still excited. I'm super excited about that. And then besides that, there's a couple of jams that I want to do with my crew because a lot of these competitions are just one on one, and that crew culture is kind of fading. I feel because a lot of the events are focused is just one on one oriented. So I want to bring that crew. Want to bring that crew mentality and crew vibe back. So we're gonna hit up a should I say it? I don't know if I should say it, but I'll let it be known right now. So we're going to Vans. We're going to Vans, I believe, in September with the crew. So it's gonna be fun. It's been a while since we all got down together. So
That's for
super
Vans in the
excited.
Circle, right? That Broke Force
Yeah,
organized.
Yeah, so it's gonna be fun, and I'm looking forward to that.
Well, hey, man, I wish you all the best with it. It's been awesome to see you again, and I really hope to see you soon.
Likewise, brother. Sure.